Hey guys, welcome back to Sean Does DIY. Today I'm going to show you how to build this mobile photo booth. Now I got hired to build this thing and I had never done anything like this before. This thing is cool. It's a touch screen, you can mount a camera back there, you have a place for your computer, all that stuff. This thing is cool. Let me show you what I did and let's get started. All right guys, so here we've got all the components of the photo booth. Over here we've got the mobile stand that needs to be assembled, obviously. Here's the TV. We've got the IR touchscreen sensors that will be inside the frame. And then inside this foam here is the glass. Now I'm not going to take the glass out of the foam until I'm ready to install it because honestly it's really expensive and I don't want to accidentally bust it and then have to get a new piece. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is assemble the stand and get all that out of the way. And then we're going to build a frame that will hold all of this other stuff that we can then attach to the stand. All right guys, let's get started. So we got the stand built. I didn't tighten everything down a whole bunch in case we got to move it for, to install the frame and things like that. Yeah, I mean, pretty easy. Now I did put the one of the shelves on. My client asked for a shelf on the back so he could put a printer or something like that, a computer or something. Normally it would be on the front for a TV stand for, DVD player or whatever you're gonna do. Cool. All right, so that's it. So next we're gonna get the, I'm probably gonna go ahead and hang the TV, I think, just to kind of get it out of the way so I can kind of get some measurements, see where it's gonna look like, figure out how we're gonna attach the frame of the mirror to everything. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna mount the TV to the stand and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna end up mounting the whole thing, the frame and everything, because the TV will be inside the frame up against the glass. Not 100% sure how I'm gonna do that yet, but I think I might have an idea. So these are the parts that attach to the TV that you can hang it on the stand, and I think if I mount it where I have enough above and below this part of the TV here, maybe we could run some kind of bracket or something inside the frame and actually mount the frame to these so it's not just, the whole TV and all this kind of stuff. I think that might be the best way to go. I have to look at, enough room at the bottom for the IR things to be on there. So I think for now I'm just going to put it maybe one more down somewhere in here, and then it's easy enough to adjust. So all right, so these are the screws that came with the thing, and these are too big. Yeah, those are way too big. All right, let me see what we got here. My little box of screws here. Let's see. These little socket caps, those are gonna be too small. Let's see. 4mm, all right. All right. Cool. All right, so that gives us an idea. And then this is adjustable, and the camera can be mounted on there, which should work pretty good. All right, yeah, I think that's gonna work. And then we'll just build the frame around it and then attach it to the so the frame will be attached to here and here. That'll work out well. All right, because I wasn't sure how I was gonna attach the frame to this thing. I mean, it's not that heavy, you know, but it's got some weight with the wood of the frame. The glass isn't really that heavy, but, you know, and then just all the stuff. All right, cool. Excellent. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we got to put the IR sensor together, because that's going to determine the size of the frame. And then once we have that put together, we can measure it and then build the frame around that. Cool. All right, let me get all the IR stuff out and we'll get going. Now I'm going to put together the IR touch sensor deal, so we can get the size of that, and then that'll determine the size of our frame. And as I laid it out, I was looking at it, all these little screws and these little corner cover pieces. I noticed one was different. It's got I don't know, it's a little piece of plastic that's kind of like cut off or whatever. So I'm assuming that's going to be for this side over here. And because of the USB cord, little book here. All right, so the frame is 39, or not the frame, but the IR. So it's 39 inches by 22 3/4. Okay. Let's see how square this thing is. To about 45 1/16 there. And now we can get around screwdriver. All right. Get around that USB. 45 1/16 or so. That's pretty square, cool. Of course, we'll square to make sure the frame is nice and square, and we'll get it in there. All right, so there's our dimensions: 39 inches by 22 3/4 inches. Inside, all right. Inside, that'd be bad if I forgot and made it the wrong size. All right, cool. All right, so now we got that. We got our dimensions for the IR, so now the frame will be built around that. So one thing we need to do is, and I covered up the TV. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is mounting, the frame will be here, this will come down because the camera will sit on top of here, and then it'll shoot through the mirror. So what I was looking at when I did it was I can mount the frame to this bracket that actually hold the TV, and so that'll take the weight off of that. All right, so this thing will go around here, the frame will be in the frame, not the frame here. So what I need to do is determine the width and all that, but that shouldn't be too hard. Cool, so now we got this, we got that. Now it's time to build the frame. And that's easy, it's a box. So now I'm gonna build the frame for the whole thing here. After just taking some measurements, I think 5 inches is gonna be plenty of depth on the box here. That'll give us room for the IR sensor, the glass, the TV, and then it'll be around, we can hide the wires and things like that. I'm just gonna use 1x6 pine for the box, and I'm gonna cut it down to 5 inches. And then we're just gonna put it together. I'm not gonna worry about doing like 45s to make a nice, neat corners on the box, because for one, I'm gonna paint it, so I'm not that concerned about it. And also, I think with the pocket holes and things like that, it'll give me a bit more strength to hold the weight of everything. So cool, because then on the front, I'm gonna end up putting some molding to make it look more like a picture frame. Yeah, so there we go. All right, so let's get this cut down to 5 inches, and then we'll cut it to the dimensions of the box. All right, cool. So now we need, what do we say? 39 and 22 3/4. So I'm going to make the sides the bigger for the 3/4 on each end. So we'll do 1.5 inches bigger. So what's that? You make me do some math now. All right, so 24 1/4 to compensate for the 3/4 on each end. All right, but first I just cut the 39s real quick. Here. Stuff out of the way. Cool. And there's holes all throughout my bench on this side, because when I do stuff like that, I can just tuck it in there. That's why I used MDF on the bench, because then I can just change it out whenever it gets too unusable. All right, so now we need the 22 or 24 1/4. All right, cool. So, let's see how we're looking here. Something like that will be our box. Cool. Let's see. Are we close? $22 3/4, yep. And this should be the 39, I hope. Perfect. All right. All right, so let's get the box put together. All right, before I put the other side on, I want to make sure that the this guy fits. And pretty good. Looks like this would be able to fit in the little groove there. Perfect. We'll just finish putting the box together, and then we'll get the glass out, and then we'll figure out where the TV is going to go. That's cool. Just four more screws and we're good to go. All right, guys, we got the frame built. Now, I had a little problem with the mirror because the mirror that my client purchased was smaller than the IR frame. So what I ended up having to do was put these supports in here. All I did was I took a 2x4 and I ripped it to give it the support, and then this is just a 1x3 that I routed out the edge here. The mirror was sitting pretty easy. So I'm ready to assemble it now. Yeah. So once once I end up putting this molding on here, it's going to hide all this other stuff. It ain't coming apart. So. Hopefully it works. Now, my client did come over and we tested it, and before I did everything, and it worked, so we're golden. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it. So the first thing I need to do is put the mirror in. Now this is it's not a glass mirror, it's an acrylic mirror. So it's a little bendy, but that's why I got the supports in the middle there. And then once everything is assembled and the TV is on the back, it'll be perfectly straight. All right, and then I'm not gonna worry about cleaning it here right now. I'll clean it up with the gun. So, cool. All right, so now we gotta put the IR frame in. Here we'll feed. And I notched out on the bottom here, just notched out so the USB cord will go through, and then I put the little edges here I cut out. And then on the bottom here, I had to cut out a little piece here because there's a couple USB ports on here, and I'm not really sure what they're for, but I guess firmware or something. So I went and notched it out anyway, just in case. But it's on the bottom, so you'll be able to see it. That through. That sits in there. That's good. flip it over and we'll get the TV installed. I'll show you what I did with that. This is the box here. Alright. So, what I did with the TV was like I said before, I mounted it using the brackets for the TV itself. So the frame actually mounts to these. And what I did was, I need to Alright. So the first thing I need to do is put the bolts on here. And I just painted, it's just a 1x3 that I painted black. Let's see, make sure. Yes, I just 1x3 I painted black, found the holes, and I just put some bolts in here. Of course, painted it. Bolts in there. Cool. All right, get the top piece on. And first I was going to use this little mount here for the camera, but my client wants to put a flash up here, so this is actually above the frame when it's mounted. And he gave me this camera mount deal that I just screwed on the back here. So, you can put a camera back there, you can't see it. All that. Holes of paint. A lot of room to work under here. first thing I need to do though is notice that when it's all up, where the TV and the camera stuff is, you can see through it a little bit with some light. So what I did was I got some mat board from the craft store or whatever, and I couldn't find a piece that had black on both sides. So I got 2 of them and I just glued them together with some spray adhesive, and then I cut it to size. So what I need to do is I need to put it on here, and then put the TV on. Let's see. That goes here. This out. That's good. Let's try this one. That's there. That fits. Alright. So what I do when I finish getting this all installed, I'll end up coming with some clear caulks. And just caulk around it, nothing even. So what I wanted to do was I need to put the TV on, draw it where the TV is going to go, and then cut it out. Where are my holes? All the way to the bottom. Okay. Pencil. There. Up here. And what I'll do is when I cut it, I'll bring it in just a little bit. So that it's actually TV's on top of the mat. That'll hold it in, and it'll also keep me light through. All right. And then camera will go here. I'll cut that out. All right. All right, let's see if I can get this thing out of here. There's that little screw. I didn't think about this part. So I'll just put the TV in and it'll pull it right out. There. And then I'll clean that mirror before I put this on. Make sure everything on here. So. See that. Go ahead and mark lens as well. And to cut this, I'm just going to use a my utility knife. Break that. Okay. Here. Mirror a little bit. Looks good. Alright, so I'm just going to take some clear caulk here, sort of bead along the edge, and just going to seal it in a little bit. We're going to go crazy with it. All right, guys, well, here it is all done and hung up on the stand. I gotta say, I am super pleased with the way this project turned out. You know, when I first started, I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do and how I was gonna hang it and do all that stuff. But man, that's the fun of getting out here in the shop and just doing, you know, just trying stuff. You know, you end up with something pretty cool like this. Yeah, man, this thing was fun and it's super cool. Hey, if you like this video, you found it helpful, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to subscribe, that'd be pretty sweet too. You can hit the bell and get notifications of when I publish new videos. All right, now I gotta hook up a camera and my computer and see if I can get this thing to work. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.